What distinguishes them from other gangs is that they are violent for violence sake.
The mantra or the mission statement of MS-13 would be murder, rape, and control.
They don't hold back when it comes to the violence just because you're a girl or a young woman.
They hit her in the back of her neck or the skull. She died instantly.
Not knowing where your child is. It's a feeling that you can't explain.
Few communities have suffered worse at the hands of these MS-13 thugs than the people of Long Island.
Long Island, home to some of the most expensive real estate in America and a stronghold for one of the world's most dangerous gangs. This is a story about the rise of a clandestine group and bloodshed in suburbia. At first glance, it may seem like any other suburb, but MS-13 has been operating here for decades, and in the past 2 years, there's been a surge in violence, with children killing children. Their weapon of choice, a machete.
4 teenagers brutally murdered by a butchering gang known as MS-13.
This is a long-term war. And make no mistake about it, it's a war.
In the days that followed, remains of 2 others were found by investigators.
Why aren't police stopping them?
MS-13, or Mara Salvatrucha, emerged in Los Angeles in the 1980s and spread when members were deported back to El Salvador. Some people, especially children, have tried to escape the violence by moving to the US, but the threat has followed them. It's estimated there are more than 8,000 suspected members across the country.
MS-13 gang members have brutally murdered 17 beautiful young lives in this area on Long Island alone. They have transformed peaceful parks and beautiful, quiet neighborhoods into blood-stained killing fields. They're animals.
What caught the president's attention is what happened to 2 teenage girls on this residential street.
When I was coming home from work, I saw the police tape. I saw police officers. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope everything's okay. Kayla had a curfew, Anissa had a curfew. They never violated their curfew. They always were there. Me and the Mickens family stood in front of my driveway all night, thinking they lost track of time. You know, you start thinking these things.
As I'm sitting there talking to them, I'm watching the crime scene van drive by their block.
The fathers went to get more information from the police officers or start going around everywhere, the walks that they usually go through, nothing. They confirmed that who they found was Anissa, but Kayla was still missing.
Like my heart just stopped and I seen like the past 16 years just like flash right in my face.
Not knowing where your child is, it's a feeling that you can't explain. That ounce of hope that she's gonna be found alive. But we got the phone call that they found her. It's just not a good moment.
They said that they had a machete and that they hit her in the back of her neck or the skull, and that she died instantly.
Kayla's mother says she was being bullied by gang members for 2 years and that she raised her concerns with the school. Authorities say she'd had disagreements with some members on social media. Nisa's family say she was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. The Trump administration say the gang is targeting unaccompanied children admitted into the country from Central America.
Since 2013, the US has placed 165,000 unaccompanied minors, and Long Island has been a frequent home to them. Here in Brentwood and Central Islip in Suffolk County, they've received 4,500, and in neighbouring Nassau County, they've had 3,800.
Places like Nassau County and Suffolk County and Long Island are getting more and more of these unaccompanied minors. Now, some of these individuals we know are MS-13 members themselves, and those that aren't are prime recruits for the gangs that are there. And so I think we've seen that.
We've had many of them who've been great kids, been victims of serious assaults, and have been very cooperative with the police, and then we find out a year or two later they had to succumb to the pressure of joining the gang because they offered them more protection.
Some of them are strong and can walk away, but some of them can't because they're here by themselves. They don't have anybody to turn to. They don't have a mentor. They can't call up somebody, look, I'm in trouble, can somebody help me? They don't have that.
The secretive gang's recent notoriety has only driven them further from view.
They found 4 young people brutally murdered at the hands of MS-13. They had buried them back in the wooded area here behind the football field.
Do you think that the police crackdown has actually driven the problem even more underground?
Absolutely, absolutely. And as we had mentioned earlier, there is a very distinct absence of gang graffiti. They're backing off more on the tattoos as well because they're all so identifiable, and they know that we are specifically looking for them. This was probably about 6 weeks ago. My partner and I were coming through here, and we chased some kids into this building. We didn't realize that they probably went around this side here. You can do anything you want to in here with impunity. Nobody hears you, nobody sees you, and you can leave anything behind. And we can see there's some MS graffiti here, even though it doesn't have to say 13. In order to get into a gang and be initiated, you are beaten by numerous amounts of gang members that show up for that initiation. For MS specifically, 13 minutes, maybe 13 seconds per member. Again, they just incorporate the number 13 into everything. And for women, it can be that, as well as being sexed in, where they are raped 13 minutes again, and it is brutal.
In just the few days that we were filming, police started searching another wooded area.
Hi, good afternoon. Early last night, we received information from Homeland Security of an ongoing investigation that they had, information that they received from a person of interest, put us to this area that there may be human remains in the wooded area. We secured the area last night. Our homicide investigators have been in there since yesterday. We'll use every tool that's in the toolbox to go through that wooded area.
3 days later, police confirmed that they'd found the remains of 16-year-old Angel Sola, Soon after, the bodies of 15-year-old Javier Castillo and 20-year-old Karen Pineda were also discovered in a park. They'd all been missing for months. And MS-13 are still strong here, you think?
I would say they're extremely strong. They're everywhere. From here to a town 5 minutes away, they're everywhere. And they look for trouble, to be honest. That's what they're doing.
Some members end up here in Riverhead Correctional Facility, but we were told if they talk, they'll almost certainly be killed.
This is where some of those accused of the recent murders have been held, and they've had a sharp increase in the number of MS-13 members coming through. They've had to step up the staffing to help tackle it.
See, this is a guy who's very proud of being MS-13. He was MS-13 in El Salvador. He was born in El Salvador. You see he's got the 3 dots too.
And are they still using these identifiable marks?
We're seeing less and less on the younger guys for fear of being discovered by law enforcement and also fear of deportation.
200 alleged members and associates were recently arrested, but critics say the raids are being used to justify a broader crackdown on immigration. It's a war yet to be won.
What I have seen and what I've seen done is law enforcement having a targeted approach on gang members. I have not observed myself in my current position that this is being used to somehow sweep up otherwise law-abiding individuals.
It is a much more cooperative and a much larger effort to investigate these MS-13 than was done in the past. They would just be part of any local investigation.
The majority of the ones doing crimes are immigrants. So why not try to control the United States population by eliminating some of the immigrants who are coming in?
I mean, if it wasn't for Kayla and Nisa, God knows if we wouldn't even found these other kids. You know, the community says that she's a cop in heaven, that she's helping our law enforcement.
By the time you join a gang and get jumped in, at least under MS-13 rules, it's too late. There's no getting out of the gang, so we have to intervene early.
But intervening early costs, and bureaucracy and politics have at times got in the way. The tale of MS-13 is about far more than violence. It has become a divisive debate about immigration, policing, and young people lacking dreams or guidance.